Please like and subscribe in 2026 to help us buy a goat for a family in need. Thanks, and enjoy the video. Hi, this is Scott with Learn to Stop Hunger, and today we're looking at episode 5 of Publish Your First Game This Weekend with No-Cost AI Tooling. The goal of this episode is to add pellets in the center of each track. These can be seen in the original Dodge'em game that we're trying to make a modified clone of, and it's very similar to what you've seen in the game of Pac-Man as well. So I've got a prompt that I'm going to give to Gemini, and we'll see how close we can get with this prompt. So I said, please add pellets in the center of each track. These pellets are similar to what can be found in the game of Pac-Man. No pellets should be present in the track gaps. When the player can pass over a pellet, it should be removed from the screen. Actually, the last part, when the player car passes over a pellet, it should be removed from the screen. Hopefully that's descriptive enough, because as I read it, I can see that it could be interpreted that the player car should be removed from the screen. Hopefully Gemini understands that it's actually the pellets that I want removed from the screen. Well, we'll see what happens. I committed the previous changes, so it should be easy to roll back if we need to. Alright, so it says it's creating a pellet class. Let's see, pellet collision. I didn't get to read the whole thing there. Generate pellets, okay. And then it implements the collision detection. Okay, good. It understands it needs to remove the pellets and not the car, because I honestly was not very clear on that. So it's working on the implementation now. I'm going to take a break, and when it's finished, I'll come back and we'll give it a shot. Okay, Gemini is done making the update that we requested, so let's take a look and see what we think about it. So it's not bad, and I think it mostly does what it does basically what we've asked it to do. I'd say there are a few glitches with it. I think one thing is I'd really like to see both the player and the pellets centered in the track. I'd probably like to see fewer pellets spaced out farther. And let's see, there are some problems in the corners with pellets overrunning the corners, and also overrunning each other. And we'll just run through those and see what happens here, one at a time. So the first one I'll say is, let's see, where are we at here? Please reduce, let's see how we want to do this. Keep track of what I say. Okay. Please reduce the number of pellets and space the remaining pellets out farther. Also please center the pellets between the edges of the tracks. We'll start out with that. We'll see where we get with that. Let's see, so that, okay. If we can get that taken care of, that'll be two of our concerns that we had. So we'll give Gemini a shot at this and take a break for a minute while it's thinking about it. Okay, Gemini is finished making the update. So we're going to go ahead and run the game again and see what it looks like. And we can see it did indeed go ahead and center the pellets on the track. The only problem is now the player is not over the top of the pellets, so it's not picking them up. So we'll have to work on that. Alright, so hopefully we can easily resolve the fact that we don't pick these pellets up anymore. I've just said, please center the cars between the edges of the tracks. We'll let Gemini come up with a solution for that, and we'll see how much closer we are. Okay, Gemini came up with a solution, so let's take a look at how it works. And yeah, the pellets definitely look a lot better now. We still got a little bit of glitchiness on the corners, it looks like. But other than that, it really looks great. Everything is centered well, and we're picking up the dots well. So it looks like, if I have to describe that too, it's not every corner that has the issue, interestingly. I'm going to go ahead and save our progress up to this point because I like what it's done so far, and we're not too far off from where I want to be. Kind of looking through here. Just to get a feel for what kind of changes were made. I do like the fact that it made a separate class for the pellets. That's good. Eventually we may have to change the track width. Hopefully that'll be as easy as changing that. Let's see, what do we have here? This is a constant. Hopefully we can just change that constant. I say that because once we use actual sprites, we're going to need to widen that out, I think. Alright, so this looks good. Initial pellet implementation. Go ahead and commit that. And we're starting to build up a commit history now. We got 6 of them. We could roll back to any point in this if we wanted to. Next, we're going to see if we can fix the issue of the pellets sometimes being too close to each other in the corners. So I said, the pellets are sometimes very closely placed to each other in the corners of the tracks. Please establish a minimum distance between pellets and do not place one of the corner pellets if it will be too close to another one. We'll see what Gemini comes up with. This is interesting. I have not used Gemini extensively. I've only used it for one or two other very small projects, and I'm noticing tonight, this is a weeknight, the amount of time it takes to process the requests is considerable. Some of these requests are taking more than 10 minutes, while on the weekend the requests went through very quickly. It's just something worth noting. We might experiment with changing the model. You can see in the bottom right hand corner of the developer command prompt it says we're using Gemini 2.5 Flash. We might be able to change that and get some better response time, so that's definitely something to consider. And also just keep in mind, you know, if you're trying to do work with Gemini, hopefully you don't have a critical deadline that you're trying to meet. Now, I suspect, again, this is a free tier. If you were on like a paid tier and you're using a different paid model, my guess is the response times would be much better. You can't really complain about allowing all these free requests, and 10 minutes is definitely acceptable for me at this point with this project. It's just something worth noting. Gemini has come up with a solution here, so we're going to take a look and see what we think about it. Right off the bat, I like this a lot better. It looks like, I mean, it's not, maybe not perfect, but I can definitely live with it. You know, there's a little bit of some gaps in the corners, but it's very near perfect. It's good enough for the purposes of this game. So I think we're going to go with it. So with that, I'm going to take a look at what the changes were. Oh, and we have the minimum pellet distance. Perfect. Just exactly what we requested. So I'm going to go ahead and commit this. Let's just put minimum pellet distance. Okay. And then that's committed now. So this is basically the end of episode 5 here. We went ahead and completed adding the pellets, and we can pick those pellets up with the car as well. So we're in good shape with that one. The next episode, episode 6, is going to be where we add scoring. As pellets are picked up, we're going to keep adding to the number of points that the player has scored so far in the game. No! Look forward to joining us for this next episode.